I had a $140 Nike gift card that was burning a hole in my wallet. So I decided to stop by the Nike factory store in Cabazon, California, and see what they had. And at first, when I walked through the store, I didn't see anything that I liked. Everything was kind of overpriced. Actually, there was a pair of Kobe's that was $160 that retailed for $200, and I wanted them when they released, but I felt like $160 was still too much to spend at an outlet store for a pair of Kobe's. And as I was walking out of the store, one of the employees recognized me and stopped me and said, "Hey Jordan, how you doing?" We shook hands, and he showed me a pair of shoes that a customer just returned. And he asked me if I wanted them. Check this out. The Air Jordan 4 Retro Lasers. These shoes came out around NBA All-Star Weekend as part of a pack of laser retros with Air Jordan 1s and 20s. It's cool that they made these shoes for kids. You'll see right here, this is a size 6.5 youth. Back in the day, there were two different versions of Air Jordan 4 Retros, but they weren't made for kids. So now for the first time, kids can rock laser 4s. So the guy said to me that these shoes were returned, and I asked him how much they were, and he said $150. And I was looking at them, and pretty cool, good-looking shoe right here. And I was about to say that I thought $150 was still too much, just because the box top has been torn off. They're not in my wife's size. I really don't know anyone that wears a 6.5, and I didn't know if I would be able to sell the shoe for profit after paying all of the fees and shipping at $150. And then the guy's like, "By the way, the shoes are 20% off because we're having a hash sale." So now it was a done deal. These shoes were now $120, which means that I could sell them for like $170 or $180, which was their retail price, and make about $50 or so. So now all of a sudden I'm reevaluating those $160 Kobe's that I wanted, because I'm thinking, man, I'm going to make $50 off of these laser 4s. So I went back, I looked at the Kobe's, and I decided to score them. So let's check them out right here. It is the Kobe 9 Elite Low, retailed for $200, and these were on sale for $160. No 20% off on these, unfortunately. And these right here are the Moonwalker edition. You probably remember them releasing in July of 2014. The following month in August, Nike released a pair of Beethoven-inspired 9 Elite Lows, and this was sort of homage to Kobe's love of music. These shoes were actually inspired by Michael Jackson and by the moonwalk dance. Check out the outsoles right there. You can see it's supposed to look like the moon. And really, that's the main reason why I wanted these shoes. I have the original moon shoe that Bill Bowerman made. I have the Nike Discos, which were made for Michael Jackson to do the moonwalk at Studio 54. So boom, when they're going to make a pair of Kobe's inspired by the moonwalk and Michael Jackson, I'm all over them. Now, I don't really know why they chose to do hyper grape on the upper, other than the fact that Kobe plays for the Lakers, which are purple and gold. But to call this shoe the Michael Jackson, I thought it was kind of strange because there's really no resemblance to Michael Jackson on this shoe. Now, of course, like we saw, the outsole does look like the moon. That Beethoven pair that was released a month after these has a gray, black, and white upper. It's also made out of Flyknit, just like this pair. And actually, I would argue that they should have taken that gray, black, and white upper and put it on this outsole, and then the whole shoe would have looked like the moon, and they would have really been able to call it the Moonwalker. But for really no reason at all, the Beethoven shoe is gray, and this Kobe Michael Jackson shoe is purple. Now, I really do like the way this shoe looks, and like I said, I bought it for the sole fact that I'm into moon shoes, and I thought it would be a good opportunity for us to break out the Air Max 90 Lunar 90 SPs that came out to commemorate the 45th anniversary of Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong walking on the moon. Remember when these shoes came out? Sunday afternoon, they actually launched at the exact same time when the guys walked on the moon. And the upper of these shoes is supposed to look like the surface of the moon right here. And so, you know, these really go well alongside the Lunar 90s. And that was the main reason why I wanted to buy these Moonwalker Kobe shoes. At $160, I was on the fence. But once I was able to make 50 bucks on those laser shoes, which I haven't made yet because I haven't sold them, but they should be a pretty easy sale at retail or just underneath that. And you know, once I pocket that $50, it's easy for me to justify spending the $160 on those Kobe's. Look at how good that looks. That was my vision right there, was to be able to sort of stack the shoe on top of those lunar 90s. Let's turn the lunar 90s around and have a look back here. You've got the flag, the stars and stripes. Remember, they planted the flag on the moon. So in similar fashion, I guess this time we'll plant the moon on the flag. But look at how great that looks. This is actually my first pair of Kobe 9 lows. The only pair of Kobe 9s that I bought are right here in this big box. They retailed for $275, and they are the What the Kobe model, really more of the What the Disappointment model, not really a What the Shoe. Remember, What the Shoes are really mishmashes of a bunch of different other shoes in one, and they didn't do that on this pair of shoes. And really, they had such an opportunity right here on the outsole of one of these shoes to make it the moon. And that is what would have made the What the Kobe a true What the Kobe, is if they would have taken bits and pieces of other Kobe shoes and mishmashed them together, and instead they didn't do that at all. They just sort of made this Christmas, Easter looking themed, overpriced $275 shoe that they called the What the Kobe. I swore I wasn't going to buy any more Kobe 9s, but when I saw this shoe and I was inspired to put it together with these lunar 90s, I couldn't help myself. So that was my latest outlet pickup. Pretty good deal. Break out the receipt and show you how I did. So the Jordan 4s were $150, but then minus 30, making them $120. And then the Kobe's were $160. I spent $302 on the two pairs of shoes, but I had a $140 gift card. So basically I spent $161 on my credit card to get the Laser 4s and the Moonwalker Kobe 9 lows.